One of the collections we have here in the Department of Biology is this bird egg collection, which was donated to us by two naturalists in the province who recently died, Jim Slimman and Frank Roy. Right now it's illegal to collect bird eggs, so to get this collection is really valuable for us. There is over 700 individual bird eggs in the collection, with several hundred species of birds accounted for. So we are just so lucky to have such a comprehensive display of bird eggs from not only in Saskatchewan, but also from other countries where these collectors traded bird eggs back in the 50s and 60s. It was a popular hobby to collect and trade bird eggs. But now we just keep them archived for scientific purposes and use them as demonstrations for adaptations of the colors and shapes of bird eggs. The way that collectors preserve eggs is by drilling a small hole in the side of them and blowing out the contents. So what you see here is just the shell of the egg. It has no yolk or albumin left in it. So it's sterile and these eggs won't rot. Speckling on bird eggs is often used for camouflage. So if a bird is nesting on the open in the ground, like these shorebird eggs here, they'll often be colored the earth toned with very distinct mottling and speckling to blend in with the rocks and lichens on the ground, so they're almost invisible to predators. In contrast, if a bird like a woodpecker is nesting in a tree cavity, very few predators can look in and see the eggs, so the eggs don't need to be camouflaged. And in fact, maybe a woodpecker, it helps it to be able to see the eggs in the dark tree nest if they're white and are contrasting in the dark hole of the tree cavity. So these are all, here's a set of flicker eggs. These are all cavity nesting bird eggs that are white. And then you have some birds that have bluish or greenish colored eggs. Often these are ones that are nesting in bushes or in dense vegetation. And it's thought that the blue color and the greenish tones blend in with the leaves and the flecks of sky coming through the vegetation. So this also helps with concealment. Even though the eggs look really bright, maybe to many predators out in the forest, they would actually be fairly hidden. Birds' eggs are pigmented when the female lays them in her oviduct just before the egg is laid. Pigments, melanins that form the brown tones of eggs are laid down over the shell. And the greenish bluish tones of eggs come from a pigment that's metabolized in the liver, and it is added onto the eggs in the same way, but it comes from a different source in the body. And the speckling, sometimes the eggs turn in the oviduct, and that makes the swishing patterns of colors that you might see on some of these sparrow eggs. So different species have characteristic flecks or speckling that just depends on the turning of the egg in the female's oviduct as she lays it. So the size of bird eggs varies a lot. Here we have the largest bird egg in the world. It comes from an African ostrich. And at the bottom tray here, you can see some of the smallest bird eggs in the world. These are from hummingbirds, only a little larger than the size of a pea. And these delicate structures are hummingbird nests. Typically, hummingbirds lay 2 eggs and rear 2 offspring. So they have these just tiny little eggs that they incubate in those cute little nests. Yeah, pretty amazing.